All right, perfect. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad you're here. This is a virtual open house for the Old City Summer Camp. This is our inaugural year of doing this, first time doing this. For those of you not sure who found us and how you found us, but we've run Old City Swim School for 10 years, Old City CrossFit for 10 years. Um, and we run a jujitsu school that has kids programming on 8th Street as well. And so it's our first time doing a summer camp, but we've been involved in kids programming for a while. And we wanted to put a camp together that is essentially focused around our core mission and philosophy. We want to prepare you for life's most important moments by teaching you life's most important skills. Of course, like we believe in the importance of a physical education, but the real, I don't know, the real stimulus, the real idea of this summer camp was like me just kind of thinking about my summers growing up in the 90s, in suburbs of San Antonio. Like my parents just sent me off and go play, and we'd play street hockey, and we'd go to the pool, and we'd ride our bikes everywhere. And it's like when summer ended, it was just like it was devastating. There was so much excitement and energy and fun, and it's like we're outside, and it's like you couldn't drag us home. And obviously, that type of summer is difficult when you live in a city like well, any city, but a city like DC. And so part of what we're trying to do here is like recreate that like 90s summer, that like let's go and let's play, let's swim, let's play games, let's get all your friends together, let's knock on doors, and let's all assemble together and just have fun and really enjoy the season, enjoy the summer. And that's essentially what we're trying to recreate. um, each day we'll have organized sports and activities and lessons. We'll have activity-based play and games, plenty of opportunity for free play, downtime, and a heavy emphasis on, like no technology. We're here to have fun outside. We're here to have fun in and around the water, and we're here to be present with each other and make some new friends, have some great adventures and wonderful experiences. Who's the ideal young citizen? We're old citizens, but our kiddos are the young citizens. Um, Kindergarten through fifth grade, we'll talk about leadership opportunities for our counselors in training. That's 11 to 13. And then potential employment opportunities for 14 plus. Um, Obviously, kids who full of energy, who like doing things like playing sports, like being active, eager for adventure, kids who can follow instructions, respect rules and authority, good listener. A lot of this stuff is sort of like expected anywhere, but the key thing is like we're looking for kids who really who want to be active, who want to have fun, who want to explore things. Where is this camp taking place? So this is a image of the Gallaudet campus. For context, this is Florida Avenue, and this is the entrance gate. For those of you who are in our swim lesson program, you'll probably come in here, and then this is like the MSSD pool where we do our lessons. This is Union Market over here, and this is the campus. And so we've gotten a little bit of clarity on uh, the exact facilities we'll be using. And most of the weeks, most of the time will be spent here on the MSSD campus. I'll just jump ahead to these slides here. So this is inside the school. We're going to be able to use their cafeteria and play space. They've got some ping pong tables, some foosball tables, just like a nice area with some benches. And, this is a cafeteria type place for lunch and just downtime rest, free play. This lobby is where we'll be checking in. This is right across the street from the pool, for those of you who are familiar with the area. So it's like pick up and drop off at the MSSD roundabout, and which is right here. And then all of our activities will be there. They'll be inside this room. Right outside this room is a big open field that has a cool view of the Capitol. And so this is where most of our outdoor games and stuff will be played. And of course we'll have access to some of their athletic facilities. Depends on exactly the week. We're still fleshing that out, but some gymnasium, some field, potentially there's a wrestling room there. Potentially we can use that for self-defense, and of course the pool. There is a chance on some weeks we'll have to walk down to the Gallaudet the Gallaudet pool and use that facility when the MSSD pool isn't available, depending on the weeks. And that walk is about half a mile, three quarters of a mile, maybe at the most. And so we'll be talking about supervision and ratios and safety and plans for all of that when we transport kids and when they're in and around the water. But just for context, our plan is to, pick up and drop off here, but some weeks we might have to walk down here and walk back. So that's the facility. Camp leaders in training, counselors in training. So the program is really designed for kindergarten through fifth grade. And we understand that there's 11 to 13-year-olds who may be a little out of place in that age group. And so it's also the perfect age to start teaching, employment skills, responsibility, while also still being a kid and having fun. And so we've got a counselor in training opportunity here. It's especially great if your 11 to 13-year-old has some swimming ability and swimming background, because that's where we're really going to have to use their help the most. But they'll get a 25% discount, leadership, mentorship opportunities, work experience. And like I said, there's a preference for experienced swimmers, but look, we'll create opportunities for any kid who wants to participate in our program. DC allows us to hire anyone who's 14 and older with parent and school permission. And so if you have a child who's interested in a summer job, let us know. We're always interested in hiring and creating opportunities. Our pay scales for 14 and 15 are a little different than 16 to 17. And so depending on the kid, depending on the ability level, it's a real job. So we'll interview them. We have a whole process for doing that. And we also understand they're 14. And so they're not going to be carrying, the burden of the safety responsibilities that we'll get into here right now. One of the things that I massively underemphasized in the last open house is our pool safety plan. And I plan to fix that on this open house. So look, it's a summer camp. We're bringing a bunch of kids around a pool. Many of those kids do not know how to swim well enough to be left unsupervised around a pool. Okay. So, we totally understand that. And here is our risk mitigation strategy, our whole plan to keep the pool safe. For context, for those of you who don't know us from the Learn to Swim program, we've been running a Learn to Swim program for 10 years. We've got a whole emergency action and safety plan for the Learn to Swim program that we're adapting for the summer camp program. But it'll look a lot like the structure that we have for our Learn to Swim program. Our pool safety standards. So the first thing we're going to do, the camp runs in week-long increments. And so every week there'll be a new cohort of kids, and we need to assess every cohort for swimming abilities. And so our standards, we looked at a lot of different standards. We looked at the DC public pool standards. We considered just enforcing our pool safe standards for our Learn to Swim program, which might be a little restrictive for what we're going for here. So this is the standard that we came up with. We consider your kid pool safe if they can demonstrate swimming a length of the pool. That's a 25-yard swim, front crawl stroke, breaststroke. The stroke, we're not looking for technical mastery here. What we're looking for is ease of swimming. Like, we want your child to demonstrate their ability to get from one side of the pool to the other without looking like they're struggling, without it looking or appearing like they're having a hard time getting their breath, without being overly exhausted by the end of the lap. Then we're going to do 3 minutes of treading water with hands, and then the final 15 seconds, hands out of the water, just using their feet, trying to maintain their breath and not looking like they're struggling too much. Then we're going to have them float on their back for 30 seconds. And the whole idea here is they're going to be in the deep end. We'll talk about lifeguard supervision. It's not like we're just going to be like out to lunch with your kids playing in a pool. There'll be lifeguard supervision, and there'll be a whole safety plan around supervising the pool safe kids. But that's our pool safety standard. And so if your kid can demonstrate those skills, they'll be put in a pool safe group. Every other child will be put into our non-pool safe groups, which will be separated into they'll be separated into multiple levels, that'll roughly follow this skill set. Obviously, each cohort will have different kids. We're going to assemble them into groups that look something like this. And they loosely follow our level system in Learn to Swim, but it's not exactly level for level. So level 4 is like they're close to the pool safe, but they're just not quite there. It's like they can swim half the length of the pool. They can tread water a little bit, but they start to struggle. It looks like it's taxing for them, but they can, you put them in a 3-foot pool. They can safely play in there under close supervision. They can swim out. They can pick up a ring from the bottom of the pool. They can jump off the bottom of the pool and get back to the wall. That's what we are considering level 4 of our not pool safe group. Level 3, they can push off and they can kind of swim to an instructor that's standing 5 to 7 yards away from the wall. So in a traditional pool, that's sort of where the backstroke flags are. That's 5 yards. So can they get a little past the backstroke flags? Again, under a supervised way. And we'll talk about ratios later, but our level 4 kids, if they demonstrate that level of competency, then our instructor to child ratio is 1-4 at that level. For our level 3 kids, our instructor to child ratio is 1-3. Level 2, that's really any child who's confident enough to get in and push off the wall and can float to some extent on their stomach and on their back. Maybe they can kick around and play a little bit, but like if you weren't standing there and they pushed off the wall, that would be a bad scenario. And so that's level 2. Those ratios are 1-3. And then our level 1 is really all other children. Maybe they're not totally comfortable getting in and out of the pool on their own. They're not comfortable putting their head underwater. They're not comfortable pushing off the wall. All of that is totally normal, totally fine. That's what we consider our level 1 children. And the ratio there is 1-2, 1 instructor, 2 kids. And all of these ratios, when I talked about counselors in training previously, those counselors in training, the 11 to 13-year-olds, do not count for these ratios. So there'll be a layer on top of this ratio that's there to help kind of make it more fun. So this is for safety, but like we also want your kids to have a lot of fun and to enjoy their experience. And so we'll use the counselors in training primarily for our non-pool safe children to be involved in the fun aspect of it. So there might be a counselor in training paired up with a level 4 group that's there to help facilitate, the games and the play and what we're doing in that level. This is a horrible illustration, but hopefully you get the picture. This is the diving board. This is the deep end. If you come to swim lessons, you sit down here, and we normally do lessons against this wall. This is the shorter end. This is the deeper end. And so essentially we'll have lifeguards stationed at the corners here, responsible for zones. This lifeguard's responsible for zone 1. This lifeguard's responsible for zone 2. This lifeguard is responsible for deep end in zone 3. We'll have a dry zone with supervisors. We'll talk about how that'll work here in a minute. But essentially, whatever these groups are for our non-pool safe children, we'll maintain that group in our, like we'll do the lessons here. We'll maintain that group integrity when it comes to the free play, the game aspect of how the day is going to unfold. And what that looks like, oh yeah, so yeah, that's zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, talked about that. So this is the pool session schedule, roughly 10 to 15 minutes to change into swimsuits. It's a really, really important requirement for our program, especially for the younger kids. They need to be comfortable and confident in changing in and out of their swimsuits on their own. Yeah, so so make sure you're picking suits that are not super complex, that can just kind of like come on, come off, and practice, especially with the younger kids, practice changing in and out of the swimsuits. We'll have supervisors there and we'll have locker room protocols in place, but for the most part, we want your child to be able to operate independently in the locker room. We'll do a formal swim lesson for 30 minutes. That looks a lot like what we normally do in our current swim lessons. So that's when we're going to be teaching skills, playing a few games, teaching skills. The focus here is skill development, where the focus here is fun. It's a summer camp. It shouldn't be all work. We want to have some instruction, but we also want to play a lot of games and have some fun. And so we have 60 minutes allotted for age and skill appropriate swim fun. And so for each of our levels, we have like reward games that our instructors are trained on, which, for like if you're in level one, again, going back to these levels, if you're in level one, that's the children who aren't, it's the least comfortable in the water. A pool game might look like throwing a rubber duck into the water and then, having another counselor in training or something grab the duck and bring it back, or kick on the side of the pool and like see if you can make the ducks, go away and like race the ducks, like little games like that on the side of the pool. um, as you progress in levels, the games get a little more complex, a little more advanced. Levels 2 and 3, it could look like jump in the water, off the side of the wall to an instructor. The instructor puts you back on the wall. You climb out. We take turns playing those types of games. We understand that an hour, especially for a 5-year-old who's not super comfortable in the water, can be a lot of time, in the water. And that's why we created this dry zone. And what'll happen in the dry zone, we haven't exactly figured out, but we'll have games. That's where, towels, you can dry off, you can sit, you can rest. We'll have games and activities to go there. But the idea is that if there's a group leader that is working with 1 or 2 kids and sees that they're both getting cold or tired and need a break, we can climb out, we can go somewhere, we can sit down, and we can stay engaged, take a little rest, and then, rally up for another play session. And so on top of the in-water supervision, we'll have supervisors on the deck. That's in addition to in addition to the lifeguards. And anytime a child's taken from a group, it'll be under supervision and they'll be placed in the custody of another group. And that's essentially how our safety plan works for our non-pool safe kids. For our pool safe kids, it's, they're going to be playing in the deep end. They're going to be playing in zone 2. And we have a whole bunch of games, Marco Polo, Red Rover, Sharks and Minnows, that sort of, organized type play. We can do relay races, noodle races. We've got all sorts of activities lined up for those kids. And of course, like, who doesn't love just playing in the deep end, jumping off the diving board? And we'll have, all the diving board safety rules in place. We'll put a supervisor here to make sure that the pool's clear before the next kid jumps. And this is a 1-meter diving board for anybody who hasn't been to the pool. So they don't have the high ones. So that is our pool safety plan. I didn't really talk about that in the last conversation, and I got a lot of questions about what are you doing to make sure my kid's safe? That's really important for us. So yep, I kind of explained this. Age and skill appropriate games. There'll be a definite difference in what it looks like for the pool safe group and for the non-pool safe group. The full day schedule, early drop off starts at 8 o'clock, runs to 8:45. 8:45 to 9:15 is regular drop off, kind of aiming for 9 o'clock, but we understand, kids and traffic and everything else. We're going to look to do some sort of outdoor sports activity from 9 to 11, lunch from 11 to 12 in that lunch facility that I talked about before. We'll walk right across the sidewalk. We'll go to the pool in the afternoon. We'll have roughly 2 hours in the pool, and then we'll have the kids changed and ready for pickup at 3 o'clock. If you choose for an extended stay option, then that'll take place almost certainly in this facility here. So we'll do our extended stay here, and we'll have access to outdoors. So if it's nice, we can go outside and, keep playing outdoor games. Super, super, super important. Campers must bring their own lunch, snacks, swimwear, and towel, water bottle. So bring lunch, bring snacks, bring water. It's active, so hopefully they're using a lot of energy. And and yeah, I mean, look, if you forget a lunch, we'll figure it out. But we really emphasize bring your lunch, bring your snacks, swimwear, towel, and they must be comfortable changing in and out of their swimsuits on their own. Safety. I talked about the pool safety aspect. This is just the overall camp safety aspect. 100% background checks. Everyone in our business that gets hired that works with kids passes a safety background check. Everyone's going to be CPR and first aid certified. our majority of our swim coaches are lifeguard certified. I'm pretty sure that all of our swim coaches that'll be at the camp will be lifeguard certified. The ratio, just the general camp ratio, is going to be 1 adult for 5 kids. And again, that ratio gets tightened up depending on the swimming ability in the water. There'll be approval for authorized pickup. We'll have a process in place for, for changes to that, but you'll need to have the authorized pickup person authorize a change to the plan so that we know who your child is leaving with. Locker rooms will be closed access only to kids and the counselors. And like we talked about, we want your child to be independent in the locker room, but we'll have a plan to support anything that comes up. All staff trained on best practices, personal safety and awareness. And in the enrollment process, there's an ability to list medical considerations, allergies, and anything else that we might need to know about. 40 openings per week, and then we'll start a wait list after it's full. And and once we start kind of finalizing the space plans week to week, we've gotten agreements that all these spaces are available. It's just this week exactly what's available, and we'll be piecing the weeks together as we go. More details on that as it comes. And to enroll, you click this link. It'll take you to our Sawyer app, and you can enroll for each week. It has all the weeks listed out here. And when you click more info, it'll give you an opportunity to register. You can select, Michael Phelps or Katie Ledecky or whoever your kids are. And you can do an installment, which is a $200 deposit per kid per week. Or you can choose a paid in full option. The remainder of the deposit is due 30 days before the camp starts. So if the camp starts June 30th, May 30th, the remainder of the balance will be due. If you do a pay in full, pay in full. You can do early drop off, extended stay in the afternoon for an additional fee, or you can do wraparound care, early drop off, and extended stay. So you can select those if you want. And there's a sibling discount of 10% per child. So if if Katie Ledecky and Michael Phelps both come to the camp, then there'll be a 10% discount applied. And then let's see here. Yep, you add to cart, and then you go down here to checkout promo code. If you're going to be in our swim school during the camp, we had this question last time. It's like, it's a lot of water time, so you may not want to also go to swim lessons that week. And so instead of like pausing swim lesson membership and trying to figure out all of that, essentially what we did is there's a coupon code that'll give you roughly a $60 discount per week that you're enrolled in the program. And so if you're enrolled for 4 consecutive weeks, it's like it compensates you for paying for swim lessons also, so you don't lose your spot, and it makes it a lot easier for everybody. So the discount code is early just for non-members for a 7% discount before March 1st. And then early member, if you're going to be a member when your kid is enrolled in the program. And this is a 16% discount, which accounts for the early bird discount and the member discount. You apply that and you check out and you're good to go. You are officially enrolled. So that's all I got for the presentation. I'll stop sharing my screen. Anybody have any questions?
Hey, I'll ask a question.
Yeah, please.
Can you hear me okay? All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is Ryan. So he'll be a rising second grader. He is in the Old City Swim now. March, I guess this spring will be about a year. So he's kind of like probably at that level 2, level 3 in safety. I just have to say, based on what I've seen, over the last year in your program, like, thank you for explaining all the swim safety. And I fully believe you when you say all these things, because I think I've seen them, right? So I'll put a plug out there for that.
Cool.
So I have 2 questions. One is, because it sounds like I also obviously have seen the coaches in the swim your swim program, and they're fantastic. They're great with the kids. Are you going to be pulling like from your coaches and staff, like you said, you have a jujitsu? Are those going to primarily be the camp counselors for the summer program?
Yeah, totally, totally. From the business perspective, one of the things that really helps us, like this, one of the things the summer camp really helps us for is um, creating more full-time employment specifically for our swim coaches, because it's roughly 20 to 24 hours a week if all they do is work with us. And we try to compensate them so that they can focus on being a professional swim coach, but having the summer camp opportunity is really, really good for them. And there's a lot of our swim coaches who are excited for that. So yeah, absolutely. We plan on having them be dry land counselors and in water counselors. Some might opt to be just in water counselors, but the
Good.
bulk of our counselors in the summer camp will definitely be current employees. And like with that, we've got Danielle who runs our kids jujitsu program, who's absolutely great with kids. She's going to be involved. We've got Nick Johnson, who's on our jujitsu team, who ran summer camps for Arlington City. And so he's going to be involved. And then counselors in training, we've got a couple 14-year-olds who are really excited for summer work. And then whatever we can't staff from within, that's when we'll put out jobs and interview and, you know, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I mean that's what I would have assumed. So
Cool.
glad to hear that. Because it would also, it's also good for the kids if they, know some of the people. Anywho, and then my second question is maybe a little more philosophical. So since this is the first time you are running a summer camp, like what is the thing that worries you the most, and what are you trying to do to prevent that from happening?
Great question. Thank you. Yeah, that's the exact. Are you a plant? No. Um, so broadly speaking, Michelle Kelber, who's on the call right now, she runs a New York City summer camp, and through a
Okay.
business mentor, we were connected. She's been running a that summer camp for 15 years, and so she's an advisor on this whole process, and we've been really leaning into safety protocols. How should we manage it? What are the right ratios? How do we, what do we do all day to make sure that kids are accountable? So my biggest fear is obviously like death, serious injury. Like Yeti has this thing that they over engineer safety and responsibility, and we're trying our best to adopt that philosophy. Um, like truly from a business perspective, like eventually you try to optimize, labor, and you try to like eke out profit, and like you're trying to figure all that out. We are overstaffing this thing like crazy because we really do not know what to expect, to be
Mhm.
completely honest. You can guess, but we want to be able to have the number of people there to manage any problem that can come up. So serious injury, death, missing child, lack of responsibility. Like I've got a little 3-year-old now, and
Very cute.
it really changes everything about how you view
Hmm.
responsibility that we have. So that's what I'm absolutely terrified of, if I'm being completely honest. But terrified in like a good, motivating way, not like I can't handle it kind of way, but in a,
Yeah.
you know, safety is going to be so unbelievably important, especially in and around the water. Accountability when we're managing groups. Like if we get 40 kids to enroll in a week, that's a lot of kids to manage. And so
Mhm.
I was a submariner in the Navy in a different life, and so I've got platoons, we've got squads. We're going to do musters, accountability at every evolution, roll calls, missing child action plans, clear the pool periodically, every 30 minutes or so, in accordance with best practices to make sure the supervisors are, everybody's accounted for. That's hugely huge concern for me, and making sure that all of our staff understands the gravity of our responsibility. And it's easy on week one, day one, to kind of have that, but like the complacency that could seep in after
Mhm.
week week 10, day 5. So we've really got to stress that completely. Then the other concern, is like we spend a lot of time wondering and debating if we were even going to do swimming because of locker room considerations,
Mm,
sexual assault, and just the right standards of propriety. That's unbelievably important. Like obviously, like as a participant in our Learn to Swim program, we don't take your kids to the bathroom. We're not participating
mm,
in changing in and out of swimsuits. Um, some of that's going to have to evolve and change. And so we've got
mm.
protocols for, you know, two people go into the locker room, two adults go into the locker room that are, you know, so there's like accountability in that. No adults ever going to be one-on-one with a child. And then putting an emphasis on locker room independence is critical, I think, for our safety plan. But also, you know, like things are going to happen. Kids are going to
Yeah,
need help, and we've got structure in place that we can provide the right level of support, while also, you know, living up to the responsibilities that you entrust us with. So
awesome.
hopefully I
Okay,
didn't talk you
thank
out of
you.
it, but that's what keeps
No,
me
no,
up.
no, 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 it is. It is. And all those things are important. And I think as parents, we all think about those things, whether we like say them out loud or not. So I appreciate that. And then what I think logistically, what's your cancellation? Like, because right,
Yeah.
as we're trying to piece together all the summer camps and what we're gonna do and summer plans.
Yeah, so our official cancellation policy, which I will not follow for a while, but our official cancellation policy is deposits are non-refundable, and then like paid in full is non-refundable. And if you put a deposit and then you want to cancel the fulfillment of the rest of the fee that comes 30 days before the camp starts, you can cancel that, you know, up to the payment 30 days before. You can cancel that anytime, losing the deposit, but not, you know, not having to pay the remainder. And then uh, transfers will almost certainly work if we have openings. If we don't have openings, we can't transfer. And no refunds for missed days, sick days, things like that.
Okay.
If there's like a medical emergency, it's like the week before camp, Johnny breaks his arm, we'll refund. That's what our policy says. I really, really want this to be a great experience for all of you guys. I want you to trust us with your summer plans and with your children. So look, I've already refunded a couple people because plans change. I'm gonna work with you. I'm gonna be reasonable, especially like everything will change when I have to put the deposit down on the facilities. I'll be a little more
Mhm.
tight with refunds, but right now, while we haven't put a down payment on facility rentals, you know, we're still working out exact facility plans. If you need a refund, I'll give you a refund. Um, but you know, and Michelle's over there like, don't
Yeah, stop saying that.
text me like, stop it, shut up. No, but look, I, I, I I really want this to be a great experience, because you know like we've put a lot into to building the reputation with the swim school and with our gyms, and I value that, and I don't want to screw it up by you know by trying to be too disciplined with the financial side of things. So that's what it is. It's a strict no refund policy with a little like I'm going to work with you guaranteed.
Awesome. Okay, I will stop talking, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Ryan. Um, let's see here. Just need a reminder how to register as a CIT. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, good call. So CIT. Let me look up the, let me
Hey,
look up the
sorry, I
discount.
have my audio on now. How are you doing?
Oh, okay,
Yeah, he's definitely in.
cool.
We're excited. I just am I swear you might have sent me an email, but looking at the registration page, I'm not sure how to do it. So yeah.
Yeah, I didn't put the counselor in training discount code there, and
Okay.
it's hilarious. The moment I heard your voice, I like immediately like, oh yeah, I remember Layla. Yeah, it's all coming back. So yeah, thrilled you're here. Let's see here. The coupon code for counselor in training is CIT 2025. So counselor in training 2025.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great. Thanks.
yeah, and yeah, Layla's the only kid. But if you're enrolling multiple kids and one kid is counselor in training and the other needs a different discount code, you'll need to check out twice because you
Hmm.
can only apply one discount code at a time. Jen, rising fourth grader, 10 camp, and a rising seventh grader interest. Yeah, okay, good. So the counselors in training, the idea here is that K-5 programming is probably a little too kiddish for our, 11 to 13-year-old young adults. And so we want, but they're also still kids. They want to have fun. They want to play in the deep end. They want to jump off the diving board. They want to experience camp stuff. So in the water, what it would look like is like, we'll have, depending on how many counselor and trainings there would be like, all right, for, 20 minutes, go play, and then come over, and then we're going to put you with a group, and you're going to, play with the younger kids and sort of like be responsible for helping the coaches administer the fun of camp, if that makes sense. Hey, how's it going? So good to see you. Oh my gosh, she's so tall. That's amazing. So good to see you. Yeah, so so it's like play, but then we're going to pull you in to have some leadership and some responsibilities for groups. Not responsible for safety, but responsible for the fun part of the game. Like, if there's a kindergartner or a younger kid who's, doesn't really want to get in the water and not really comfortable and maybe is like sitting by themselves, we might have a counselor in training saying like, hey, let's go play a game with I don't know, with the kid over there, and just kind of like try to be there for the younger kids. And it's not going to be like the whole time we're in the pool, you're just like working for us. It'll be like, let's do a 15-minute shift playing over here, then go play the games. And it's like, we're going to work with you to, have fun. I can also, like, when we go outside and we play outdoor games, it's like, all right, the two counselor in trainings are the team captains, pick your teams, so that's kind of the vision. It's like like the play leaders, is the idea. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much for breaking that down.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, and if you're interested, I kind of make it, we had originally thought we're gonna like take applications, and then the more we thought about it, it's like, no, if you've got an 11 to 13-year-old who wants to participate in the camp and is excited about the opportunity of being a little leader in training, we'll have them and we'll get them enrolled in CIT 2025. And, even if they're not excellent swimmers, we'll figure out some responsibilities for them. So
Great. Yeah, she's a good swimmer, so
Cool.
she's excited. Thank you.
awesome. Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Hannah, I don't know if you remember Hannah. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
She
And-
would be interested as well. Yeah. So, and she was in level 10, but she's not in the swim school now. So I don't know. Do you have to already be in the school? Sorry if you already said that. But
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. Yeah, that's great. We need all our level 10 graduates to descend upon the camp. That would be awesome. We would love it.
okay. Okay. And then when I went into Sawyer, I didn't see the CIT. I know you said the promo code, but do you just click one of the camps the week that you want and then just put the CIT in the promo code?
Yeah, that's right. So just enroll as it, and then the CIT will just be the coupon or the discount code. And then in registration, we'll see who's there and we'll see the ages, and then we'll sort them out. And
Okay, perfect. Thank
cool.
you.
I'm so excited. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
That's
Oh
good.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. I haven't been actively coaching for a while. I cannot wait to go back and like just like my wife was working the pool at Catholic when she was pregnant, and like now that's it's like unbelievable how fast things change. It's
Time
it's-
flies.
Yeah, so I'm really excited, and I'm grateful for everybody's participation on this call and hopefully in the camp.
Yeah, no, congratulations. You guys are doing amazing things. So.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. And so are you. She's so awesome. That's so amazing. I love to see it. Cool. All right. Well, if there's no more questions, any other questions? I think everybody already talked. Fantastic. If you're listening to this recording and you have questions, camps@Old City Swim School is the email address. And yeah, send me an email. I'm monitoring that email. And that's it. That's all we got. We'll see you guys hopefully at the camp, or, if you have questions, we'll see you then.
Thanks so
Awesome.
much,
Thank
Sean.
you.
Yeah, take care. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Bye-bye.